Hello. Hi. Where are you from? Okay, so I started a little bit late, so I'm going to go ahead and get started so we can make the most out of the 30 minutes that we have together. Oh, cool, Michigan. Um, my name is Taylor, and I'm delighted to share with you the process of actually creating your website. WordPress is my favorite content management system. Anything that you can dream about, you can build within it. Today, we're going to review a very high level overview of the steps. Because we can't build an entire website in 30 minutes. However, you will leave here with actionable steps to get started on getting your website created. And this will be a mini series. So each week we'll dive deeper into the steps that we're going to go over today as well. So I've helped countless entrepreneurs get the site of their dreams by either creating a pre-built website or designing a custom one for them. And I'm excited to help you out on your journey today. So if you got the website planner, feel free to follow along and mark things off with your checklist as you finish the steps on your own. If not, the link is below so you can follow along with us. I have an analogy that I like to use to explain websites to my clients, and that is that it's like building a home, but a cyber home. So you have the hosting account, which is your land. You have the domain, which is the address, so your friends can drive and find you. And then you have WordPress, which is the foundation of your home. Then you have a theme, which is the structure and the walls, kind of like the layout of your home, not the design of the website. And then there's plugins, which are the appliances. So like the fridge, the dishwasher, or the laundry units of your home. They're not actually a part of your home. They are things that you add to your house to add more functionality to the home. And that's what plugins are for your website. They just add additional functionality to your WordPress site. The last one is page builders, which this is the actual interior design of your website. So it's the paint, the curtains, and all the pictures and the frames that you put up around your house to make it more appealing for yourself and guests who come over. So those are kind of the main things that we're going to go over today. And the first step is choosing a domain name. So there's 3 top domain providers that I recommend, which are Bluehost, GoDaddy, and Namecheap. For your domain name, .com should be the extension that is used. People are getting more and more aware of ones that are like .org or .net. But I truly believe that .com is the most recognizable one across the entire web. And usually the domain name should be your name or your business name, depending on what you're going to choose for your business. Your step 2 is going to be sign up for hosting. So that is, you can choose Bluehost or GoDaddy or SiteGround. Those are the 3 that I recommend. My number 1 recommendation on hosting is really to just go with one. Pretty inexpensive to change hosting providers, so don't let step 1 or step 2 keep you from moving forward in your journey. I use Bluehost for all of my hosting needs. It's super inexpensive and really easy to upgrade or downgrade, and their chat support is phenomenal. And then try to get your domain name and your hosting provider to be the same company. That way you don't have to worry about connecting your domain name to your hosting account. You will be able to save a step. And GoDaddy and Bluehost provide both. So if you go GoDaddy or Bluehost, they both provide domain names, so it makes it pretty easy for you. Step 3 is going to be installing WordPress, which that process will change depending on which hosting provider you choose. But their supports on all hosting providers will help you with this step. It just changes regarding which one, but this is something they all help you with. So step 4 is installing a theme. The top themes that I recommend, and a lot of other web designers do as well, is Astra, Divi or Divi, D-I-V-I, and Ultra. I use Astra as my base for every website that I build because it's super lightweight and fast, and it integrates seamlessly with almost every plugin. And Divi and Ultra are the same way. They're both super lightweight and fast. So those are really the main things that you want when you look for a theme, is that they're reputable, fast, and they won't cause any complications with the plugins that you'll be using. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can show you that process. One second. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Let me get a thumbs up. No? Were you able to see my screen? Uh-oh. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, well, when you install a theme, you're going to go to your WordPress dashboard and you are going to go under Appearance on the left-hand side and select Themes. Then you can select Add New at the top over here. So when you go to add a new theme, there are a couple options. You can either filter by the presets over here, or you can search for themes. So if you wanted to find Astra, you could just type in Astra and it will pop up for you here. So you will just install and then activate, and that theme is then ready for you to choose. Step 5 would be installing your plugins. So you go to the plugin section by just going down, and you will see the plugins here, and you can select Add New. It's the same exact process of installing and activating a theme. You have the same search features and the same categories at the top over here. You'll also just select Install Now and Activate as well. So I do have 5 top recommendations for plugins that you should use for your website. The first one is Elementor. It is a drag and drop page builder. So it allows you to build beautiful website pages without needing any code. The second one is WP Fastest Cache, which is a simple caching plugin which allows your site to load just a little bit faster. It's one step of a lot of options for WordPress optimization. But this is just one simple thing that you can do to help your website speed. The next one is Insert Headers and Footers. So this one allows you to insert code into the header and footer of your website without having to get to the back end of the website. You'll want to use this for things like adding a Facebook pixel to your website, or adding the Google Analytics or Google Search Console trackers to your code. They want a script that will go in the header, and this will allow you to do that. It also allows you to enable rich pins on your Pinterest account. The next one would be WooCommerce, and this is just an e-commerce plugin. So if you want to sell virtual, physical, or digital products, WooCommerce is going to be your go-to to do that. And WooCommerce Stripe Gateway allows you to connect Stripe to your WooCommerce store so you can accept debit and credit card payments. It also already has PayPal built in, but a lot of people like to add another payment processor as well, and WooCommerce Stripe Gateway allows you to do that. So those are the top 5 plugins that I recommend when you're first starting out, and they're all free. You don't have to pay for any of them. Something I do want to mention regarding plugins and themes is that out-of-date plugins and themes are the two top reasons that websites get hacked. So to minimize your chance of that, you do want to make sure that you update your plugins and themes pretty regularly. Basically, every time they need to be updated, you'd want to go ahead and update that. Before you update any plugin, it's good to have a backup in place. You can do this by getting a plugin called Updraft or contacting your host account, and they will have options for you. So they either have the ability to do the backups for you, or they'll point you into the direction of how to do that. But Updraft is a plugin that allows you to do it as well. You can also update your plugins pretty quickly. It takes about 5 minutes overall, depending on how many plugins you have. And it's one button. You just say update, and then it'll update. There is a bulk option and a option to automatically update your plugins, but I wouldn't do that till you get a good feel for your plugins and how they work. But over time, that is definitely an option that will even make it faster for you. Do not bulk update WooCommerce or any of the WooCommerce optional plugins. And you don't want to automatically update them either. They tend to be a little finicky. So you'll want to make sure you have your backup ready and you are there when you update it. Most of the time, nothing happens. But just in case something does, you'll have that backup and you won't lose anything and it won't be stressful if you have that backup ready. What I like to do is set up a recurring calendar event. That way it reminds me to go ahead and take a look and make sure that my plugins are good to go and my theme is also updated. I have that set every 2 weeks, so that might be something that will be helpful for you as well. I'm usually in my website every day, but just in case I go on vacation or something like that, I have something to remind me to do so. So step 6 is going to be deciding on what pages you want on your website. So most websites tend to have 5 pages, which is your home page, your about page, services or shop page, and then a contact and blog page. I would also recommend creating a lead magnet page where the sole purpose is just to collect emails, and then also a sales landing page where the sole purpose is just to sell one product or one service. These 2 pages are not necessary to launch whatsoever, but it is a good idea to have that in the back of your mind when you do launch, that okay, I should start thinking about how to create these sales pages and landing pages. So how you create your pages is on your WordPress dashboard. You head over to Pages and select Add New. And then you would just select the title of the page that you'd like this page to be. So if you want it to be an about page, then when you're ready to design the page and fill it with content, you would then select Edit with Elementor. And this is step 7. So step 7 is using Elementor to build your pages and to design them. So we're not going to go over how to use this plugin because we're going to do an entire live regarding just Elementor alone because it is huge and it deserves a lot more attention than a couple minutes. But when you're first starting out, we do recommend that you use a template, which is that little folder over there. And then they have all of these templates available to you. So once you find one that fits what you're looking for, you would just select Insert. And then you have all of this already on here and you just clicked a button. Now all you have to do is update your colors, your font, style your buttons, and then change your photos. So once you do that, then it begins to look and feel more like your own website, which that is step 8 through step 11. Step 11, which includes change your photos. If you don't have photos that you would like to use for your own website, you can use Canva Unsplash, and Pixabay. Those are all three really, really great free resources for getting pretty nice photos for your website. So once you've gone through your template and you've updated everything to be your colors, your branding typography, and your photos, and make publish here at the bottom or save as a draft. And then once you do that across your entire website for all of your pages, the next step would be to create your menu. So we're going to go back to our WordPress dashboard and select Appearance and go to Menus. So you would want to start with creating a new menu. And you'll want to make sure to name it something that you can remember what the purpose of it is. Then depending on the theme you choose, you will either use you'll have a couple different options here. So there's a primary menu and a footer menu. So the primary menu will be at the very top of the website and the footer will be all the way at the bottom. You will then select Create Menu. Then you'll want to add in whatever pages or links or posts you'd want to be on your menu bar. So you can just select the items here and say Add to Menu. You can also add maybe posts. You can adjust what they say by selecting the drop down or adding in new information. And then you can also drag and drop them around. So one thing to keep in mind when you are creating your menu is the customer journey and how you want your customer to flow through your website. So a lot of people build the menu in a way where it's their homepage, what they're selling, either their about or resource page next, and those two kind of flop back and forth. And then they will do the contact page. So that's kind of the way that we also built ours here. We have our homepage, then we want people to take a look at what websites we have, how they work, and if the how it works didn't answer any questions, we also have an FAQ, then any free resources you might need to help you in your journey, and then go ahead and contact us if we haven't answered your question at that point. And then if you take a look at our hero space here, the next step after they get to the homepage is we want them to go explore the websites. So then we have the button here that says explore the websites. So this is just something to think about when you're creating your menu, is how you want your client or customer to go through your website, and that should kind of help you figure out what goes next on your menu. So step 13 and step 14 are creating your header and your footer on your website. So this can also be done very easily with Elementor. So if you head over to templates on your WordPress dashboard and select Add New, a pop-up will display and it will say choose a template type. So you can select your header or your footer, and then you'll just select create template. And what will pop up is the same exact thing that we saw when we opened up our page in Elementor. It's the same exact way. You can build them with templates, and it's pretty much the very same. So as soon as you learn Elementor as a whole, you can do any of the things that Elementor offers. So like on this website, this was a template built within Elementor for the header. And then at the bottom of our website here, this was also built as a template for the footer too. Step 15 is choosing an email provider. So the top list of email providers that I recommend are MailChimp, Constant Contact, and ActiveCampaign. You'll want to make sure to start growing your email list as soon as possible, and don't delay starting it just because you're looking for the perfect one. They all collect emails, send them, track them, create automated emails, and also allow for customer segmentation. They all pretty much do the same thing. So it's really more about which one is the easiest for you to learn and which one do you think has the best interface for you. I recommend MailChimp and still use it till this day with Elementor and insert header and footer. It makes it super, super easy to integrate them all together into one website. So the flow is very nice for customers. They could enter a contact form or enter in any kind of form and it'll go directly into my MailChimp account and then send an automated email that way. So having all three of those talk is very nice. The next step, which is step 16, is to test your website. So when you're testing your website, you want to make sure to click all of your links, all of your buttons, anything that should go to somewhere else should be clicked. You also want to make sure that you check your add to cart process. So the entire process from adding to the cart to checking out to actually payment processing, want to make sure all of that is working. You want to submit all your forms. You want to test the website on mobile, desktop, and tablet. Elementor is a really great feature where it allows you to see your website on different device sizes and also adjust it for the device sizes. Then you'll want to make sure that the SSL is installed, and you can see that by this little padlock up here, and it says connection is secured. If you don't have that, that's step 17, and you just reach out to your host and let them know that they need to install an SSL, and they'll go ahead and get that done for you. But it is a must. Otherwise, your customers will get to your website and then they'll just bounce off because they think that you're trying to take their data or you got hacked or anything like that. So you'll want to make sure that that SSL is installed. Step 18 is to publish your website. So after you've been through all of those steps, the next and final thing is to publish it. But that doesn't mean your work is done. So after you've published it, the hard part's over, and then it's the fun part of optimizing it and starting your A/B testing, changing where your buttons are, or changing maybe your background's color a little bit, and seeing what increases your conversions. So it's the scientist, thinking like a scientist part is after you publish. So now is question time. I do have a few questions that I want to answer that were sent to the event for people that couldn't make it. And then if you want to ask your questions while I'm answering these ones, that would be perfect. So the first question was, do I just pick my favorite theme and then add and delete pages as needed? Yes, just make sure the theme is lightweight and fast. Again, I use Astra. Can I duplicate websites so I don't have to start from scratch each time? Yes, there's a plugin called All-in-One WP Migration, and that works perfectly for this. I actually use it for my websites. The next one is, I'm setting up a Shopify store. Is there any gotchas to connecting my WordPress website to it? I would actually use the WooCommerce plugin for WordPress and not create the Shopify store at all. That way you have all of your customers on one website and they don't have to go back and forth. To do what you want, you have to spend a lot of money on plugins. Your thoughts? Usually you can get free plugins to do exactly what you need when you're first starting out. Eventually, you may have to upgrade to a paid plugin over time, but I've only ever paid for 3 plugins in my entire existence with WordPress, and they were for separate types of businesses. So it wasn't like one business needed three different paid plugins. What would be the relevance if I already have a website in GoDaddy but not in WordPress? Can I switch it over? I would switch it over just because WordPress has more resources and more people who assist with it. So if you ever get stuck, it's going to be really, really easy for you to find the answer. It'll be very quickly to find a consultant or someone to help you with your website as well. Not so much if you choose to stick with GoDaddy, their builder. You can also reach out to them and GoDaddy, and they should be able to help you switch it over. Do I need to keep all of the photos in the template, or is it okay to delete some of them? Delete, delete, delete. Divi keeps a revision history, so you can get them back if you want to. You can also save the original and restore it if you mess it up, which is always helpful. Does anyone live have any questions? What do you know about SiteGround? I actually don't know a lot about SiteGround. I mainly, myself and my clients usually are using GoDaddy or Bluehost. So I'd have to research that and then get back to you. If you don't have any other questions, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if this was helpful to you at all. What was step 12? Let's go back. Step 12, creating your menu and making sure that you think about your customer journey as you are creating that menu. Will there be a replay? Yes, there will be. I hope so. I think so. Awesome. So the last thing that I wanted to say is for those of you that just don't want to create your entire website alone, I do provide a nice middle ground between creating the website yourself and getting a custom website with a hefty price tag. I create completely pre-built websites. All you need is a hosting account and a domain, and I'll install the pre-built website onto your server. All you have to do is adjust your font, your colors, and your photos, and all of the colors and font can be changed globally across the entire website. So you're only clicking 3 buttons and it'll change it across everything. They also include custom training videos for each website, so you know exactly what you need to do to move forward and get it done. And I provide 30-minute walkthrough calls where it's you and I only, and we go through whatever your questions are, and I kind of show you one-on-one what to do. And you can see them at designsmot.com. I have it up on the screen as well. And I want to thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. This is my first live, so I hope that I get better over time, but I appreciate your patience. And I will see you guys all next Sunday. So thank you.